Ooh, what's up, guys? This is February 18th, 2024, and so again, and I should probably say this at the beginning of all my videos. One, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, so don't take anything that you find here and go and use your real money or anything to. I'm not suggesting that you can make any money or are not giving any financial advice here. Also, a lot of times when I'm doing my videos, I'm figuring stuff out as I go, but I'm doing it kind of real time so you can see exactly what's going on, and you can see the logic, the syntax, the conditions, the logical process, all that kind of stuff. So don't always get to the answer right away. So some of the times you want to fast forward through the video and just kind of look for little hints that I may have met some success, and typically I'll try to put something in one of the comments or in the description to let you know that, okay, at this time point that I met some success, and that might be the place where you need to go and fast forward to see the end results. Today, so last night I was putting together something for highs and lows. So marking up the chart, being able to find the highs of the day or the lows of the day, that kind of thing. And my intent yesterday, I kind of got into it, of course. Again, I said even yesterday I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first time doing it. So doing what? Doing deleting old objects from the chart. So I was able to figure it out this morning. Took me 2 or 3 hours, but I was finally able to figure it out. So we'll go over it now. I'll just pretty much recreate everything. Hope that I remembered how to do it, and if I didn't, then I'll go back to my reference. But like I said, this is practice for me. The more that I do it, you know, the more that the logic or the syntax that's required to complete these projects, that it's, you know, at the top of my mind. All right, so I'm just going to open up a new show me. A new show me. We're going to call it Daily Highs and Lows with filter. All right, that's here. That's that. Okay. All right, so on this chart, pull it up, we see that we have 5-minute bars. It goes 5 days back. We can even do 15 days back. All right, so essentially what we're going to do, starting off here, we'll delete that. So we want to plot the highs of each of the days, right? So first of all, let's change this type style. I'm going to change it to candlestick style. And I like for my candles, up candles to be blue, down candles to be red. This is how my charts look. Okay, so for every day, you should have a high candle and a low candle. We will make this at, here we go. We'll make this be at ES. All right, and so for every day, we should have a high line and a low line. All right, I'm just gonna start off right now just doing the high line, and then I'll go back and do the low line later. Let me put myself a little bit of music on in my earpiece. Okay, so for this, we do need to use a vector so we can store the values. It's weird. It's not weird, but then it is weird, but you'll see. So hopefully we can breeze through this. We're going to be drawing objects, so we need to use the EL system. Then using EL system.collections, we're going to be using the vector as well, using EL system drawing, because we're going to be drawing objects, so we also need that drawing objects there. And then we're going to come down here, we're going to plot the high and the low. So in order to plot the high, we're going to say if the time, we're going to plot the high of the market hour. So we're going to say if the time is equal to the end of the day, which is 1600, then we're going to begin, we're going to plot let's plot 1 equals day H. Oh, high day of the, how many periods ago? Of this day, 0 days, this day. All right, and then we'll do end, and then that should be enough for To get a line on every day, we'll come back to the chart. We'll do daily highs and lows with filter. It's show me. There. Okay. All right. So for every day, you should get the high of the day. At 4 o'clock, you should get the high of the day. Whatever the high of the day was. So here it was 4 o'clock, but the high of the day was here. So we got a plot there. But we don't just want to plot, we want to draw a line. So we need to declare a horizontal line. It's going to be day high. And we're going to start it off as null because it's a line. So it needs to be, it's an object, it'll be null. So if the time is equals 1600, not only do we have the high day of 0, we're also going to do a new trend line, which will be the trend line. The horizontal line is day H. Day H equals horizontal line dot create what, or at what price level? Price level is high day 0. That. Now we have to drawing objects dot add, and then adding what? The horizontal line object day high. Hit that. Now you see all of our horizontal lines show up. I'm not sure why this one is darker. The only thing I can imagine is that this day high was hit twice, right? Because you got a line that, or more than one time. It was hit 3 times. Really? Nah, I doubt that. That same line was hit 3 times? Let's refresh this. $50.48 was hit 3 times. Is that the line? $50.48. So we're just going to go back here. And actually our dots should help us, right? So that dot is there, 50.60. This dot here, that 50.48. Okay, this level here, 50.20 was hit there as a high. And then we're going to change the scale there so it doesn't move on us. And it was hit there as a high. It was hit here as a high. And it was hit here as a high. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy to see this. Wow. So 50.20 is a significant level. And then most recently, February 16th, the last trading day, that was Friday, it came down and wicked down to that line at the pre-market, or no, as soon as it opened up, it dropped down to that same line and then wicked back up. Man, if you had if you had this on your chart like this, and you could have saw how significant that level was, then you would have said, oh, it's about to approach that line. Let me get ready to observe whether or not it's a significant swing. You have that. And then if you look at the strategy that I made last night, and I made it here live with you guys. What was it? I think it was 5-minute ES. It was to show me. I need to name it something else though, because it was pretty good. ES 5-minute. I've been changing the nomenclature of how I name these things, so I need to go back and find a nomenclature and just stick with it again. Okay. 5-minute. Wasn't the 5-tick trick? Yes. Dang, where's it at? That's gonna suck if I can't find this, because that was a good strategy. I I pulled it up as a show me, and then I made it into a strategy as well. I know it had 2/17, and I put the date. I don't think I can search for it by the date, though. Nope. Now I'm sorry, but I gotta stop and pause and find this thing because, like I say, it was a pretty good script. You know what? I can go back here. You know what? I named it reversal 5-minute. Okay. Let me make a note of that. Okay, and so on the 5-minute time frame, when we put that on here, come back here, and you can see that it reversal 5-minute. Show me reversal 5-minute. Yes. All right, and so I had a signal bar, and then I had an entry bar. So there's a signal bar, and there's an entry bar. You see, we had the signal bar, which was this long bar coming down, and then this entry bar was pretty much signifying that we had a flag, and the flag was essentially broken. So that was our entry bar. Signal bar, flag, and then it was broken with this longer bullish candle, which was the entry bar. This was signal bar, and then there was no entry bar to qualify that it was that we did take that. So I think it hit a few more times, but we did put that into a strategy, and the strategy was I believe it was 100%. There was, well, look back at the video that I did yesterday. You'll see whether or not it was 100% or not. But either way, we have that. So we have these levels, and so the 50, 48, 50, 20 level was hit several times, right? You can also see these levels down here that have multiple hits, right? Multiple hits. So you probably want to pay attention to these levels. I imagine you can go in here and change the weight, make it really thick, and that way when you're looking at your chart, you can say, oh yeah, I better really pay attention to this level as the chart continues to move down. This is good. This is good for me because yeah, I don't often look at things that closely all the time. So this is good for me to be able to have this, and then like I said, I know most people will come over and they'll do this. Most people will come over and they will have an empty chart, and then they will, you know, expand it, whatever, 15-minute time frame, whatever, and then they will draw, they will look, and then, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but they'll draw their support resistance lines, hit once, hit twice, wick 3 times, wick there, and then I guess that's about the same level, right? That 50-28, that 50-28 area. Yeah, so, and then they'll draw one here because you got a wick there, and you got a top of a consolidation area there. They'll draw that, and it moved over this and kind of found support on it. It moved up a little bit, and then they'll look down here and they'll find this line. So, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that, you know, there's this other option here now too that helps us find these values really quickly. However, again, when we look at the symbol, we see that we have 15 days worth of data. We could do this as 100 days, so now we'll be getting 100 daily highs, right? This didn't change very much because based on the scale, you have a lot, as the chart was trending up, now you have a lot more values down lower, right? You have a lot more values, daily highs down at lower, okay? But, and that was an entry signal there. All right, but whenever, you know, then say, as you look through your chart, you see that 50-20 level there, where it's hit multiple times. This level here as a high that's at least close 1-2. And then as you go back to the left of your chart, you see these getting closer. So I would say mark those up. Look at this, 48-41 level. Look how many times that was hit, because it's making it thicker. So as it gets thicker, that means that there's more levels. It was hit multiple times, it was overlapped. Okay, but the problem with this is now we have a lot of lines on here. We had 100 days worth of data, right? 100 days worth of data. So that means that we have 100 daily highs on here. Now we don't necessarily want 100 daily highs on here. We might want just to have only one day of high, or the past week's worth of highs on the chart, instead of having all these highs on the chart, just kind of complicating our visual capacity. All right, so what we have to do now is we have to, and I was making this much more complicated than it had to be. And one, I was kind of fumbling through last night and using the drawing objects collection, and I thought that drawing objects was an array, and it may be, I don't know, but apparently you cannot add an object horizontal line. You can't add an object to an array. Again, so an array has got to be a string, integer, Boolean, right? If you want to add an object, you need to add it to a vector, or I think you can add it to a dictionary. And both of those are just collections. So we're going to have a vector. We're going to use a vector. And that vector, we're going to call it daily high. I'm going to start as null. Okay, so when we get to 1600, we're going to plot this dot. That's fine. And then we're going to create the horizontal line, and then we're going to draw the object. One, you see how I can move this line over here? We don't want to be able to move the line. So let's go ahead and day h dot lock equals true. All right, and then we're going to assign the line to the vector. And a vector is just pretty much like a stack of papers. It's pretty much like a stack of something. So you might start off with one, and then when you get another one, you add it. Or in this case, we'll add it at the bottom, so that one on the top is the oldest. Add it, one on the top is still the oldest. Add it, one on the top is still the oldest. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the daily high, which is vector, and then we're going to do dot insert. Is it dot insert? Well, first we need to add the vector. All right, so we're going to do once. So on the chart, only one time we need to declare this vector being initialized or created. We'll do daily h was the name of the vector equals new vector. Okay, and so now down here for the vector, we'll say daily h, which is a vector, dot, I think there's insert. Insert, and where we're going to insert it, we're going to insert it at 0 or before 0, and then we'll do the, what is the object? The object will be, and this is the part where it's new for me. All right, so we're going to insert the line. We're going to insert the object or the horizontal line. And the horizontal line is actually day h. Okay, so it would be day h. And I think we need to, because a vector can take lots of things. It can take a string, Boolean, integer. It can also take that object. We have to say we're putting day h in the vector, and it's what? As type. What type is it? It's a horizontal line. And if you don't put as type, then it won't work right. All right, we'll go ahead and verify that. So now so there's no issues so far. Okay, now we have the object drawn. we have the object stored to the vector. And now is the magic. If we only want 10 lines, first we got to make sure that, well, we'll say if the vector count, which the daily h dot count is greater than, I'm just going to insert my numbers here. We'll go back and do the inputs later so that we can modify this from the screen. Daily h dot count is greater than, we'll say 10. We only want 10 lines on the chart. If it's greater than 10, we can say that there are at least some objects on the chart. So typically when you do this, anything that you're doing referencing like an object drawn, you want to say that the object is not null. You want to say that it's not null, that some object has already been drawn. But since we're adding stuff to the vector, and the vector starts off as being empty, as long as we've added something, then there will be something in the vector. So we kind of killed two birds with one stone. We'll just say if the daily dot count is greater than 10, so we don't have to say that the vector is null. We don't have to say that day h is not null. We'll just go with that. Then begin. All right, so this is the magic. If there's something in the vector, okay, let me see if I can remember. If there's something in the vector, then you want to assign the, you want to assign that object, because these objects are being drawn and then they're being stored. Like I said, I don't fully understand it, but I understand what it's doing, but I don't fully understand it, but I understand what you have to do. But it's kind of like driving a car. It's like, I know something about combustion and about the engines and the pistons and the intake, but you don't have to know how a car works in order to drive it. So right now I'm just kind of driving, but I do like to know how everything works. And that's why I like programming, because I just like the nitty gritty. All right, so begin day h. So we're going to assign day h, which is the object, which is a horizontal line. We're going to assign it to the vector, which is daily h dot at what? The value, the object at the object in the vector at the last one. We're going to assign this object to that, and then we're going to delete it because we're going to get rid of the last one. Daily count.h, daily h dot count is 10. Okay. There's a little bit of twisting up in here, so I'm just trying to make sure that I get it right, because when you have a vector, you are looking at if you have 10 objects in the vector, then you have one object at position 0, one at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you got 10 objects in there, but your highest index is 9. So we actually need to delete the object at 10, right? All right, so daily h dot at, I think it's 10. I feel like it's one less than that though. Daily dot count So we're going to get what the count is in the vector, and then we're going to subtract 1 because we're getting rid of the last one. Yeah, so we're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of that 9th position because the 9th position is the 10th object. 9th position is the 10th object. Remember, 9th position is the 10th object. So if we got greater than 10 objects, so if we have an 11th object, we need to get rid of the last one. We need to get rid of the 10th one, and the 10th one is in position 9. So I think that's got to be greater than or equal to 10. Daily count is greater than 10, so if it's 11, either way, we're going to erase the last one. Let's put it that way. So daily h dot at, and it's going to be as type. Again, when we're assigning what's in the vector to the object horizontal line, to the object, to the draw object collection, we need to say, since we're assigning it to a collection, we have to say how is it going in the collection. As type what? As type integer, boolean, what? It's going to be as type horizontal line. Okay. And now that we've put this last value of the vector into the drawing object collection as horizontal line, now we're going to delete that. And so it'll delete that last one, which will be that one. So we'll drawing objects dot delete. Delete what? I think we just put 0 there. Oh, no. Delete what? We're deleting the day H. So drawing objects is the collection, but was it a horizontal line? Was it a trend line? Was it something else? It was this. It was this. It was this. Okay. And now when you get done with that, now in our vector, since we assigned this last value from our vector to drawing objects and we deleted it, now we need to delete that last object in the vector. So we need to do the vector, which is daily h dot erase. And at what index? The index is this one here. This is the index that we deleted. So we'll do daily h dot count, which is the count, the number of elements that are in the vector, and then delete. And then we'll do end. And I think that's it. I think that's it. Didn't work. All right, let me see what we got here. Let me see what we got here. It did work. I was too far to the left-hand side of the screen, so that means I was way lower on the chart, in the market. Okay, so we should have 10, or if we zoom out, there should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how many is here. I think it hit 3 times. So it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, anyway, if we only want a lesser number, we change that to 2. And so now we only have 2 objects to show up on here. If we want 4, change that to 4. Now we have 4 to show up on here. So this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, because anybody who's looked at some of my previous videos, like when I make trend lines, and especially if you make trend lines and you allow them to extend to the right-hand side of the screen, you'll have like 50 trend lines coming at you, and all these lines are coming from maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, and you want to delete them. I mean, you don't want them to stay on the chart. There's a couple other ways you can do that. Is you can say like if it's the last bar on the chart, then you want to draw objects that are yeah, it seems like I did that. before, I did something like the date. I used the date. I said if the date is equal to 4 days from the current date and it's the last bar on the chart, then we want to, yeah, you should be able to do that. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll take this and then we'll mute this out. We'll comment this out. Okay, so now you're going to get everything, right? All right, so instead here, so if time is equal to 1600, then we're going to begin. We're going to go ahead and start making the horizontal lines, and then we're going to show them on the chart. But if you only want to get the last 5 days of the daily highs, then you can say if time is equal to 1600 and the date is equal to current date minus 4, then begin, right? So it's going to be the current date, which is today, minus 4 days. So you should get 4 highs unless it's like a weekend day or something like that, which, you know, we had Sunday, so we probably only have 3. But this can't be, if we leave this like this, it's going to calculate this from every single bar. Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking about last bar on chart, but again, if it's the last bar on the chart, then it's not going to show anything. So we'll just hit verify on that. So we only got 1. Let's go back 6 days. Okay, and the date is greater than or equal to, current date minus 6. All right, so there you go. So 6 days back from today, which is a Sunday. So you're excluding Saturday. So 6 days back, that'll give you 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. Okay, so that's one way to do it, to only get data from the last 5 days, right? But then if you didn't want to do it this way, like I said, you can just go down here. You can go down here and then you can make this number equal to 5. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an input so that we can actually change this, because right now, if we go here and we double click on that, yes, I want to modify it. There's no inputs. We can't change this from the chart. In order to change how many days we have here, we'd have to come back to this coding and development environment every time. So let's make an input. And we'll make it day filter. So how many days we're looking for. Day filter, we're going to start it at, I don't know, start it at 5. And yeah, that should be fine. And so we're going to put day filter right here. Okay. And then so I verified and we got that. Now we can come over here to the screen. We can double click on this. Yes, we want to modify this. So now we have a day filter here and we can say, all right, we want 15 days worth of data. 15 days worth of highs. Boom, got it there. All right, so now the only thing that we need to do is we need to do the same thing here, but we're going to do it for daily lows. And I haven't done this yet, so I'm hoping that there's no issues with overlapping the highs and the lows, because I see that this is working perfectly for the highs. But if we add a low, a horizontal line in here, I don't know what it's going to do. So we're about to find out. Okay, so we're going to do, so we'll need the horizontal line for the daily lows as well as another vector for the daily lows. All right, so we're going to do horizontal line and then we'll do day low, null, and then we'll do another vector, daily low, null. Okay, and so not only do we once need to do the daily high equals new vector, we also need to do a once for a new daily low equals new vector. All right, and then pretty much we're just going to copy and paste all this. I'll tell you what, we'll just leave this here at 1600, and then we'll do, we don't really need to plot anything. That was just to make sure that we're on track. We're going to need this, 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 and this. So we'll come over here, give us a little bit of space here. We'll put here, we'll say daily lows. Okay, we're going to copy this, paste it. So day H, day low, horizontal line dot create. day low, drawing objects, day low lock. Make sure that we can't move it while it's on the screen. And then daily high vector, no, daily low vector. We're going to store what? We're going to store we're going to insert in the first position or the 0th index daily low as type horizontal line. All right, and then we're going to end that. And then we draw that. We actually want to make this red. That was blue. This first one was blue, and that's fine. That's the top. Yeah, that's the top. So let's just make sure that that always stays blue. So we're going to do day h dot color equals color dot blue. All right, and then for this one down here, which is going to be the daily low, we're going to do day. Let's go ahead and assign it first before we put it in the vector. We're going to do day low dot color equals color dot red. All right, we ought to be able to verify that. High. Oh, this is not the high. This we need to do the low of day. Okay. All right, so now we have the daily lows as the red line and the daily highs as the blue lines. Look at this one. This one here is a little bit thick too, right? So this line was respected several times as far as being a daily low. Interesting. All right. Now we need to come down here and we need to do our filter, right? So if daily.count is greater than day filter, then we're going to begin. We can just put the daily low stuff right in here as well. Okay, so filter for daily lows. And again, we can just copy and paste this. So we're taking the day high. So we're taking the day low object, and it's going to be assigned. Its assignment will be the daily low vector at the daily low vector count -1 as a horizontal line type. And then we're going to draw the object, drawing objects.delete. We're going to delete that daily low object. Yeah, this should be fine. We shouldn't have any issues with this. And then we're going to delete that daily. In the vector, we're going to delete the that last position of the vector. All right, and then that should be it. Verify. Okay, so I verified it and everything is fine, but now we need to come back over here, and even though we start the initialization at 5 objects, on our chart we have 10 objects, right? So we need to come back here, or we have 15. So now we're going to do 5, and hopefully we only have 5 highs and 5 lows. We have 5 highs, but we have multiple. We have more than 5 lows, so that did not work for the lows. Day low equals daily low dot count -1. Then drawing objects dot delete. Daily low dot erase. Drawing objects dot delete. That's the main function there. Either that or this isn't assigning properly to day low. So let's make sure we have the right thing here. Daily low, which is our vector, daily low dot at daily low count -1. As type horizontal line. Day low. Drawing objects dot delete. Let's just mute this out. And oh, wait a minute. Okay, I did insert it properly. I insert it into the vector. Daily.insert 0 day low as type horizontal line. Okay. Let's try commenting this out and see if we get element needs to be in vector's range. Okay, so this is the error that I get here, that the element needs to be in vector's range. Why and what? Because all this should be fine. Daily count, daily h.count. Oh. We're using a function daily high. Well, the daily high count should be the same as the daily low count, right? The daily high count for every day should have a day high and a day low. Oh, well, I can see why it would get off. Because, well, now I'm thinking if you have the daily high count, it'll let you into this box, and then you come in here and then you erase one of them. Well, I guess once you erase one of them, then it changes this number, and then you come down here and then you're doing something, but that number is now changed. So I could only think that it would make it be off by 1. So therefore this number would be too small. Instead of, so at this point you have 10 objects, and then this point I would think that you'd have 9 objects. I think it'd only be off by 1, but maybe as the chart goes on and on, that number gets exponentially worse. So either way, we need to pull this out and then start it over by itself. All right, I'm with it. All right, so if daily, the count in the vector of the lows, daily low dot count is greater than day filter, then begin. All right, so we do that and then verify it. Begin. Okay, this needs to end. All right, I'm gonna need to come back to the chart and make sure that it's still on here. All right, still getting the same thing. Element needs to be in vector's range. So if daily low dot count is greater than filter, greater than day filter, then element index needs to be in vector's range. Element index needs to be in vector's range. Daily dot low dot count minus 1. Well, we're saying that if the daily dot count, the vector amount is, if the amount of values or indexes in the vector is daily dot count, then we know that if we're trying to access daily low at this index will be the total count minus 1. This is the total count. So the only way we can get into here so once we get into here, we know that this number is going to be lower than this number because it's this number minus 1. So this number is within the index. We know that. So that's not the problem. And then we're doing drawing objects .delete of daily low which we assign day low right here. So now we have something to delete, and then we do daily low dot erase of daily. Oh, okay, I got you. All right. So here we did daily high, count -1. This needs to be daily low, count -1. All right, gotcha. Y'all don't love this? This ain't fun to y'all? This is fun to me. I love this. Status. All right. So now we got everything to come back. We'll just go ahead and get rid of this. But you see we only have 5 lines there for the daily low. And now we'll have only 5 for the daily high. Okay, very good. So now we have the filter executing for the daily high, filter executing for the daily low as well. All right, so now again, if we want to come over here and we only want the highs and lows for the last 3 days, then we'll just modify that, hit 3. And so now we only have 3 lows, 3 highs. And so you use this same concept, assigning it to a vector as type, and then assigning the assigning what's in the vector to the drawing objects collection, and then deleting that immediately deleting that drawing objects collection, and then go ahead and erasing what was in the vector so that you don't get mixed up what's in there, and you keep the right count. So we did that for the highs and the lows. All right, so filtering the number of daily highs shown. Filtering the number of daily lows shown. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much it for that one. I did have a little bit more time. Let's see, did I get through that pretty quickly? 50 minutes is not quickly, but like I said, I learned a few more things. I got through this first part fairly quickly, but then it was coming down here and modifying this that took a little bit more time because we had to add to it. We had to do a little something different. All right, so, and again, now if you, instead of 100 days back, if you're only 3 days back, now you're only going to get it for 3 days because you only have 3 days worth of highs and lows. But if it gets over that number of 5 or whatever your filter is, you know, if you increase that number, then you're going to get at max the number that you had, which was 5. Did we have it at 5? 30 days worth of data? Okay, 30 days worth of data, we got 3. Oh, we're only getting 3 because of the for the weekend. So today, no, because it's gonna, yeah, because we're not going by the days now. We're going by the actual. Okay, we only had 3 in there. Gotcha. All right, good to go. There's no need to continue to belabor this point. I think we got it. But this is interesting to look at this. Like I said, when you have your chart open, this is my normal chart that I use. Yeah, this is my normal chart that I use. But so now I can come in here and I can add the daily highs and lows to this chart because this is my higher time frame chart. I was working on one for the pre-market highs and lows, and so again, I can't really do more with that until I get into the live trading session. So I will work on that tomorrow, and I'll probably give you an update. All right, so this was the daily highs and lows with filter. Okay, so now when I put my daily highs and lows with the filter on, I get this to come up, which is kind of cool. I wonder, can I put a label on here? Because it'd be cool if I could put a label on here and then it would tell me the date at which it is from. Let me see if I can do that. That would be actually really helpful. It's like, oh, no. Well, this one here, this one was from 2 weeks ago. All right, so I know you can do different labels. but I don't know if we can. I know we can make a label with the text label class, but I don't want to do it that way. So let's do dah dot. I think we have to do labels and then turn it on. Labels equals true, and then there's a couple different things that you can do with the labels. So let's see what it is. Label references the drawing object for the line versus the drawing object label for the line. Drawing object label class. That's all we have? I think we ought to be able to come up with something a little bit better than that. Label line. Okay, there's a label class. Gives such alignment of text and the label. True indicates text rendering should be compatible with the previous. All right. It's not exactly what I was looking for. Let's verify that. All right, so that's not what it wanted there. Well, what do you want then? It's not that. Let's put something here. Let's put 3. That's not what it wants. It doesn't want an integer. Well, it probably wants a string. So let's put 3 there. Doesn't want a string. Again, what do you want? Label references the drawing object label object for the line. Okay. So we're going to have to do a whole drawing object class. Drawing object. That's crazy. Let's see. Do we have to do this? Do we have to do a drawing object label? We're going to call it label. Initialize it as null. Okay, and then we'll come over here and then for the label dot font. Label dot font. We don't need to change the font to string. I don't think that's it. Label dot to string. I know to string you're going to use when you're doing a lot of printing and that kind of thing, but label dot I see we can change the font. Not interested in that. All right, well, let's see what's in the drawing objects label class. This font, that's it. Additional properties, methods, and events to describe. All right, well, we don't need that. We actually want it to change what the label says. It says the font. That's about it. Now I know you can come here and you can right click it and you can turn on different things like the data. We got the price. Oh, labels. Show labels, that's it. Maybe because it's a horizontal line, it only has the one label. But I'm pretty sure with the trend line, you can show different things. And we can confirm that by just doing this. We'll call something trend line. We'll call it WAP, and then we'll hit null, and then we'll do that. and then we'll come here, and then we'll do wop.label. Same thing, wop.label. But if I click that, right, so now when I click that on the trend line, show labels, true to show labels associated with this line. And then you can show net change, show percent change, show time span. And you can show all these things for the trend line class. But you see when we did the horizontal line, we didn't see any of that. True to show the labels associated with the line. Price label. Okay, there's the label. Show labels. Let's just try show labels and see what we get. Yeah, show labels is just going to show, you know, that right there. We can't get it to show percent change or anything fancy. If we were to do it as a trend line, we could, which we could make this as a trend line, but I'm not going to go through that. It'd essentially be like saying, to make a horizontal line from a trend line, we're just going to go to an indicator, and then we're going to say, let's see, horizontal line from trend line. All right, so we're gonna take these lines off for the time being. The high bids, excuse me, the holiday, daily high, holiday. Okay. All right, so we're gonna take that off for the time being. Let's just make a line at the day's low, right? So the day's low ended here, 16. Well, we're gonna put it at 1600, the daily low, and I have to remind myself, I mean, institutional trading hours typically are between 9:30 and 4 o'clock, but looks like futures goes from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock, from 6 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. that following day. So you see this closed, this stopped at 5 o'clock. So I may extend my daily lows to 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock, but anyway. So we're gonna plot one is gonna be day low. We're going to do the low day of that same day. Okay, we're going to do that if the day is this day, which is February 16th. So if date is equal to 124 years, 2 months, 16 days, and time is equal to 1600, then we're going to plot that. Hit that, come here, and then we're going to do a horizontal line from trend line. Horizontal line from trend line, got that. Hit that. Oh, why did it do it down there? All right, let's go back. Let's look at the scaling. Let's make sure it's on the same scale. Horizontal line from trend line. We're going to do customize. It's going to be the right axis. It's not going to be on a subgraph. It's going to be on the first graph. They actually have the scaling the same as the underlying data. Okay, and then hit close. All right, so you see, well, that's not our line. We don't have a line there. Oh, we should have a dot at that point. If date is 124, 2024, February 16th, and time is equal to 1600, then plot one is low day of 0 days. That should be it. All right, is it not turned on? Did it turn off? Horizontal line from trend line. That's it. Where's our dot at? Let's see, do I need to zoom in? 1600. 1600 is the time right here. It should show up right there. Date is equal to 124. That's weird. Let's do this. In case low day isn't working right, let's just plot the low. Okay, that's not working right. So what's going on with our date? Is our date wrong? Which shouldn't be. The date is how many years from 1900, right? 1900, so it'll be 124. Something is screwy. Okay, wait a minute. Now it's gone? Horizontal. Okay, here it is. Let's look at the scaling. Let's look at the color or something. It's going to be a red. Oh, it's plotted as a line. Why it's plotted as a line, I don't know. But there's going to be a point. We'll make it a big point. All right, and then we'll close it. There's usually going to be a reason why something is off. If things seem right, then there's usually going to be a reason why it seems wrong. So there's a dot there, so there's low, but we're going to plot the low, which I mean it's the same thing. If the time is 4 o'clock or 1600, we're going to do the low day of 0 bars. That. Okay, so this is the low of the day though, so it actually got a little bit lower than this at some point else in the day. Probably somewhere else. Yeah, this bottom wick here. This bottom wick was the low of the day, so it's here. We're only plotting this when the time is 1600. So even though this looks pretty close, we're only doing a plot when it's 1600. We did not plot anything over here. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to draw a trend line. Because I was telling you that, you know, how to draw the regular line. Now we want to draw a trend line. So we're going to do it both ways. We're going to do using EL system. Then we'll do using EL system dot drawing, and then we're using EL system dot drawing objects. And then we want to do some declarations here. So declaring. We'll do horizontal line, which will be horse. All right, and then we'll do trend line, and we'll call it trends. All right. So the first one that we'll do is we'll do if that's the date and that's the time and all that good stuff. Then we're going to do a begin. And so we'll do a plot there. Come on, boy, get it. All right. We're gonna plot that circle, and then we're gonna do a trend. Trends equals trend line dot create, and then we have to do what? We have to we have to do the 2 different points. So we got a BN point, and usually it'll tell you right here what you need. But you need 2 points. 2 points to have a trend line, 1 point, second point. So the first one that we use is the date time point, dt point dot create, and then we'll use the date and time of the 1600. And then what price are we going to use? We're going to use the low of day. All right, and then we will make the second point, which is dt point dot create, and it's going to be the same date, same time, and let's try low of day. We could probably just remove it. Watch this. We're going to try it this way, and then we're going to do it the right way. All right. So, and then we're going to close that, and then we'll draw the trend line, which will be drawing objects dot add trends. That end. That verify. horizontal line. Now, y'all know, if y'all watch me at all, that I don't spell right all the time. DT point, how come you don't like that? Trendline.create. Let's see, usually when you get this overloaded method, you didn't put the right stuff inside of the create, or you don't have a parentheses or something like that. So DT point.create, we got the open parentheses, we have the date. Oh, no. That's because we have three things. So for DT point.create, you have to have a beginning point, and then you have to have a point, and then you have to have a price. So we have three things. We have a date, time, and price, which you do need a date and time, but to do that, you need one kind of element, which would be bar date time. Okay, it's gonna be the same thing for this over here. I remember the days when I was working on trying to get trend lines and everything like that created, and it took me forever. That was one of the reasons why. All right, so now you see, I did I verified it, and it's verified. There's no issues with it, but it didn't create anything because essentially we're using the same bar date and time, and we're using the same price level, but that's just creating a dot. That's creating a trend line from this dot to this dot, which is superimposed directly on top of it. So it's just like a big dot. Not really a trend line, but if you extend that trend line, then I imagine we'll get something. I don't know if it's going to go up, sideways, cross. I don't know what it's going to do. We're going to see. So we're going to do trends dot extend right is equal true. Boom. It worked. That was fine. That's all it needed. Okay, you see, it made a horizontal line going to the right. We could also do trends dot extend left equals true. Boom, it extends to the left. Now, if it didn't work out right, then instead of bar date time, I imagine you could do bar date and time -1. Nope. So anyways, that doesn't work. But the other way works, so you don't have to do this. But if it didn't work, I wonder what you could do to reference the bar prior to, oh, you know what? Bar date and time instead of -1 is going to be square brackets, 1 bar ago. Gotcha. All right, so now that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So if you wanted to use this same logic here, now when we do what we were looking at before, when we were looking at the labels and everything like that, you do trends dot show label equals true. I don't know why it's not liking that, because that's right. Show labels, plural. Okay, so now you see that time it came up with a 0%. Trends dot show. I'd be curious to see time span works because there's a trend line that goes from the beginning to the end, but it doesn't necessarily help you when you're looking at what is the start point. So there's got to be some other way to make a label for this line, and the label can show whatever you want it to show. And I don't know how to do that. That's something good for me to work on, though. So feed script for changing string label on lines. Like I said, I have no clue how to do that or if it's even possible, so I'm just going to ask one of the senior folks and maybe they'll be able to do it. Tag text. Tag text. What is tag text? tag text. I don't even see tag text, but it came up under our trend line. Trend line up. Trend lines. Tag text. What is that? And again, I mean, right? So it doesn't even, we did a search for it. We're looking it up on here. There's nothing that shows tag text. And so now you're wondering what in the world you do with it, and have no clue. I'm going to put a string there and say hi and see what that does. Well, I verified it. It didn't show up here, so I don't know. I mean, it didn't give me any error, so apparently it likes that, but, and it's supposed to be a string, but what does it do? All right, I'm gonna go over here to the search and see if anybody has already addressed that question. We're gonna learn something new today. All right, meanwhile, drawing object.tag click event. I guess it's related to an event. And I haven't done anything with events yet, like click events. So you can have different events happen when you click on your objects, your trend lines, that kind of thing. I haven't gotten that far yet. Ooh-wee. They are doing a lot on here. Tag text as type string. Tag. These must be methods. Yeah. They're doing a lot right here. Now this kind of coding will make your head spin. Good gracious. Okay, yeah, so he's trying to annotate the charts, include a click event handlers for all objects. My questions about the string value. Every 10 bars of demo indicator creates a rectangle and associated text label for each object. Places the objects on the screen as expected. However, the click event does not seem to be accessing the individual tag value for each object, whether it appears to be accessing whatever value exists in the last object created. Okay, well, again, that's that's why they're senior coders. Man, that's yeah. I don't know that I ever really want to get that good at it. I want to be good enough that I can make great scripts and an interface to manipulate the trading platform with enough utility that I can be profitable. I don't want to be able to do stuff just to do stuff. But either way, I'm still learning a little bit every time, a little bit every day. So I mean, maybe I'll get there, but hopefully I get profitable before I get there. I don't mind continuing to go there. I just want to be profitable before I get there. Yow. All right, so trends.show labels equals true. So again, we can show the percent and all those other things, but that's not necessarily what we want to do. You know what? I'm going to work on that today. I'm going to work on doing something with the click over the next day or so. Show bar count. We can show the bar count. Okay, so now it shows the bar count here, but is it locked? Yes, it's locked. But more importantly, when you have, look at this. When I click this, I don't know what time it references. I just essentially zoom out on the chart. I draw a line, and I don't know what time frame this line is referencing. It could be referencing some date way back, you know, back in January, or it could be referencing the day prior. Either way, I don't know. But when you have a trend line created, especially when you're using the script or something like that and use it for the daily highs, you can click on the trend line and it gives you all this information, right? So you click on a horizontal line, gives you nothing, just gives you the price. Doesn't tell you what date it was created in reference to, it just gives you a price only. But when you click the trend line, it'll say that it was created begin date 2/16, right? So if we use that same kind of logic and went over here to a horizontal, if we went to daily high, no, we need daily highs with filter. Daily highs and lows with filter. Then if we put it here, trend lines instead of horizontal lines. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now because I like the ability to be able to click on this line and see, oh man, this line was referencing February 16th, or this line was referencing October of 2023. This line might be a little bit outdated, you know, so let's convert all these. Yeah, so all we need to do is just do a one-liner, and instead of horizontal line and horizontal line, these will be trend lines. So we'll do, matter of fact, I'm just going to put it in its place. All right, let's do this. Trend line dot create bar number point dot date time dt point date time point dot create. We're going to do bar date time and then the price, which is the day high, daily high, or high day of that same day. That, and then we need the second point, which would be dt point dot create bar date time, and it'll be the same value, and then we need to make sure that we extend right. And also when we look back through the chart, we'll see where it started from too, just by visually looking at it, because it won't be a horizontal line across the whole thing. Daily extend right. And I mean, daily extending to the right and left can be beneficial, but you know, it's just whatever you want to do. Dage.extend right equals true. All right, now we need to make sure that we do, this is a trend line, and this is a trend line. All right, so dot extend right, locked it, blue, show labels, true, that's fine. We're gonna insert it into the vector as a trend line, and then the lows is a trend line, but it's trend line dot create date time point dot create of bar date time 0 days. Well, we don't have to put 0 days there. We'll just put low day of 0 days, and then second date time point that create. It's going to be bar date time, and then low day of 0 days in that, and then extend to the right equals true. All right, we're going to insert into the vector as a trend line. And then down here, when we're reassigning the trend line to the drawing object collection, we just need to make sure that we put trend line there. There. All right, that should be it. Unless I missed something, let's try it. Just a misspelling. High of day. Did I miss parentheses? 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that worked. All right, so let's come back over here, and then because it's on this chart, daily highs and lows with filter, status, we turn it back on. Okay, so we have it here. And why do we have one here? Okay, so this is from the last, hang on. All right, wife is calling, so I'm about done anyway. Been on for 124. So the last thing that I just wanted to point out was that this daily high here is referencing, you see the begin date is 2/16. So this is the high for February the 16th, right? And it's not going to show up until the time equals 1600, which we can change that just by changing this, right? And I'll have to figure out how I want to change that so that it keeps updating as the day goes on. Yeah. All right. And so then again, we have the filter for that we only want the most recent 5, or maybe we just want the most recent 3. Okay, and so now we're only showing the most recent 3, the lows, red, and where's the other one at? That's one low, that's the second. Oh, no, we should have 3. Where's the third one at? All right, so this is the low from the 16th. Oh, okay, I see it. All right, so this is the one from, this is the low from the 14th. This is the low from, why is this, oh. The low from the 16th doesn't happen until right here. But this is also the low from the 15th. Isn't that crazy? So the low from the 15th and the low from the 16th is the same? Nah. This is the low from the 15th. Oh, this is a horizontal line. Oh, this is from the other one that we're trading. This is from this horizontal line from trend line. That's from that script, which we don't need that one on here, so we'll get rid of that one. Horizontal line from trend line, we remove that one. Okay. All right, so here we have the one from the 16th, the one from the 15th, and then the low from the 14th. Okay, so we only have 3, and then we have 3 highs. Okay, good. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Let me get off here before I get in trouble. Just gonna save and verify everything. Horizontal line deletion. This is what I was working and practicing with, so I'll come back and straighten that out here in a minute. But yeah, everything looks good. So I may come on here again later. Right now it's just 3:43. I'm sure I'll code at least another time. Oh, I did have one idea in mind to work on a short, for ES. So if you notice here, we get a move to the top, and then we get some dojis, and then we have this long bar moving up to the top with a little bit higher volume. Actually, this one goes higher than it, but I think I'm looking for this, and then I'm looking for the next high. I forget exactly what I was looking for, but I think I was looking for this high, and then I was looking for and then once I get this long bar pushed to the top with increased volume, now I'm looking for the highest low, and then a pullback from the highest low, take that entry. Something like that. But I'll look at that here in a minute. All right, but for now, I'm off of here. Hope somebody learned something about trend lines, horizontal lines, drawing them, being able to limit or filter how many that you want to see on the chart. That's pretty much what I worked on today. So anyway, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace. Oh, NASCAR, I just saw your NASCAR, I just saw your comment, man. Are they closed tomorrow? Yeesh. Why are you withdrawing, man? Why are you withdrawing? Oh, I see what you're saying. You're going to have withdrawals from not being able to trade. Yeah, I'm with you too. Our future's going to be closed tomorrow too? Yeah, dang. Yeah, I'm going to have withdrawals too. Yeah, man. But did you check in the Discord? Did you see the results? Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see if I can pull it up here. 3-day weekends are rough. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to pull this up without showing everything else. But did you see the results of like the 15-second time frame? Some of those scripts that I made for ES and NASDAQ. Did you see how profitable those things were? Come on, man. I know you checked that out. Futures may be open. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm betting they're closed. I'm gonna look it up here in a little bit though. But yeah, man, so one of the things I've done differently with probably since I was working on my strategies when I first got started is when I first got started and I was working on my strategies, I was mostly looking at so I'd open up like the 1 minute time frame or something like that, and then I would look at just what happened here. If this was a long bar, if it was below the 9-period moving average, if it had high volume. But now what I'm doing is I'm looking at not just the conditions of one bar, I'm looking at setups, right? So like this is my setup bar, and then this is my entry bar. So I'm finding criteria that this meets, and then there's criteria that has to be met in the middle, and then there has to be criteria that has to be met for the final one. So it's making my scripts much more complex, but it's making them way more profitable. So I'm just waiting to pull the trigger, man. Yeah. But so I gotta figure. I actually traded some penny stocks on Friday. What did I trade? I'm not sure what I traded on Friday, but I traded a few, and I was just using just kind of price action concepts. And so I'm dipping my feet back in the water of penny stocks as well. But yeah, I've got to find some strategies that work good for penny stocks. If you notice, like on my chart here, you can't see it now because the charts aren't live, but I'm doing a lot more with looking at the bid and the ask size when the spread gets wider, all that stuff, all the X-ray vision stuff that you can't see by just looking at a bar chart. I'm looking at all those things as the live market is going on, and I can see glimpses of when the market is about to change. I'm starting to see the glimpses. So with that, I'll be able to go over to those penny stocks, man, and we might be able to wreck it, man. We might be able to wreck it. So yeah, just kind of keep giving me some ideas of the ones that you are interested in for the specific day's time. You know, whether it's because it has liquidity or a PR or something like that. And like I said, I'll run those like I run ES, so it can capture the spread and the all the intrinsics that you can't see visually. I'll capture that so that we can start putting together some good scripts for the penny stocks, because it's all the same, man. It's all the same. It's just the balance between the buyers and the sellers, and if there's a huge market shift going on, then you'll see it, whether it's from the volume or from the spread gets really wide, or the ticks change a lot. There's a lot of acquisitions or absorption going on. You'll see it. You'll see it. X-ray vision. X-ray vision. But I may get on later and look at, because I wanted to make a script to the last script that I made for ES to go long here, where I had the entry, where I had the signal bar and then the entry. This one worked pretty well after I finally optimized it and everything the last couple of days. But I wanted to make a script to look at the short side of things. So I may be back on later, but yeah, man, don't withdraw money from your account. You know, I thought you were saying that you were going to withdraw. All right, let's see. Yeah, but I'll catch you later, NASCAR. I'll chat with you on the Discord tomorrow, though, because I'll still be on coding and the whole nine. So we'll catch up to you, brother. But for now, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.